Hi, good afternoon, everyone. A lot gets written about ONDC, and one phrase that gets written about very, very often is this word democratization. And as we grow our organization, I also interview a lot of people, and when I ask them, what do you know about ONDC, they use this word democratization. And when I ask them what it means, they struggle with it. Because what exactly is democratization? Now, in the physical world, we understand democratization. When we think about physical infrastructure, let's think about roads. Roads get built by the government, by civic bodies, but who uses them? Everyone. The premium luxury car will use it, the auto rickshaw will use it, the hand cart will use it, the pedestrian will use it, the coolie who carries stuff on his back will use it, everyone will use it. Right? Even the cows and pigs sometimes will use it. That's democratization. And you think about access to those roads. Where does the hand cart enter that road from? Probably from a shed, probably from their home. Where does the luxury car enter that road from? Probably from a very expensive garage in a very expensive building. Regardless what the starting point is, entry is the same for everyone. That's the idea behind physical infrastructure. Electricity works the same way. You have electricity coming off the grid. Everybody uses it. Big corporations will use it, big factories will use it, and a small hut, which is plugged into that system, will also use it for their own small appliance or watching television. So democratization is when power is made available to small individuals as much as it is available to large corporations and large institutions. We understand that in the physical world, but what does it mean in the world of digital commerce? Now, we've always understood digital commerce only one way. And weirdly, digital commerce is the only thing that works this way, which is we expect one entity to do everything one-to-end, right? End-to-end. Even the previous panel, as we heard them, you heard them talk about e-commerce, but the concept of e-commerce, no matter what the e-commerce entity is or what the e-commerce item is, it is always end-to-end. So if you think of hailing a cab, you want one entity to do the entire hailing cab service end-to-end. If you want to order food, you want that entity to do everything end-to-end. If you want to order something for home or office, you want them to do everything end-to-end. Now, what does end-to-end mean? Largely, it means three kinds of things. Buyer-facing activities, where the buyer is searching, adding to cart, making payments, tracking their information. It is seller-side activities, where the sellers are uploading their catalog, updating their inventory, managing their orders, or managing a change to that order like a cancellation or a refund. And then if it is a physical good, then it is shipment. Now, in platforms, these three things are all combined seamlessly through a protocol that is theirs. And each platform is a closed universe. When you look at another platform, that's also a closed universe. So we are used to the idea of e-commerce being closed universes, which is why we have multiple applications. So when you go on a holiday, you're probably booking your flight on one application, you're booking your hotel room on another application, you're booking your taxi to the airport on a third application, and we think we've got convenience. That's the world we live in today. Now, what changes when you make two changes? The changes are simple, but when you think about the implications, they're fairly profound. So we make two changes. We say that one entity will not do everything. We unbundle e-commerce. So now we allow different entities to do different activities. The second thing we do is we bring in interoperability. Now, we understand these terms in all fields of our life except e-commerce. Right? Unbundling, we understand as organizations. If you think about work that your organizations may have given to an outside party, payroll, customer service, right? The whole BPO industry is about taking work processes that used to be inside a company, and we've simply unbundled it and given it out to somebody else. Why? Because somebody else does it better and somebody else does it more efficiently. As a system, that's a far more effective one than one entity doing all. We know that. No car maker makes their own tires. Why? Because the tire makers are masters at making tires better and more efficiently. We don't get bumpy rides. So the idea that if you separate things out, that things will fall apart is actually a hypnotic illusion regarding e-commerce. In all other walks of our life, we do that. We do that perfectly well without blinking. So now what happens when you do this? What happens when you unbundle it, when you allow different entities to do different parts? It actually allows a much greater participation in e-commerce than we see today. The other thing we characterize e-commerce by is concentration of power. You name it, that in that field, you'll probably be able to name a couple of major brands and you will struggle to even say who's third. So if you think of taxi hailing, you'll rapidly name two brands and struggle who's third. If you're thinking about food ordering, you will rapidly name a couple of brands, you will struggle with a third. Or maybe not after last week's newspaper reports. If you're thinking about ordering stuff for home and office, again, you'll name a couple of brands and struggle with a third. So that's what the non-democratic version looks like. But when democracy comes in, then you'll have many more participants. Now, who can be a buyer application, right? Let's just take that part. Anybody who has a user base who can shop and either can build their own or acquire a digital interface that can allow them to shop is a buyer application. Live on ONDC today, people shopping today are two payment applications, Paytm and PhonePe. PhonePe, of course, has built a separate application called PinCode. We have banks. Kotak Bank is live today. And we have technology companies that even I had not heard of before I joined ONDC. So now you have unknown entities or entities that were doing business for something else become a shopping side of the network, collectively bringing more than 100 million buyers already today on the network. Similarly, you have other companies, other entities bringing sellers. Companies that do internet services to shops, companies that build accounting software or POS software. So POS software in a store allows them to do billing when a customer walks in, but you make that POS software responsible to answer the API calls from the ONDC network, and suddenly that shop's catalog, that shop's inventory is visible to everybody on the network. All it requires is that shop to join hands with one seller application, be connected to the network, and suddenly 100 million buyers are available. Cost of acquisition of customers, 0. Now, can you think of a system where CAC is 0? It's like the road. What is the cost of a thelawala getting onto the road? 0. And so true democratization is when access to scale becomes available to everyone. To everyone. Now, what happens when you have many such parties contributing buyers, sellers, and distribution options? You suddenly have a network that has all the components we are familiar with in e-commerce, except different people are doing different parts. Till 28th of April last year, this was theory. On 29th of April in Bangalore city, one order was placed on a terrace farm in Bangalore for a hand of coriander that got shipped and delivered that same evening. That was the first order that went in an unbundled fashion on ONDC network. From that one order a day, we are now clocking consistently more than 10,000 orders a day. And this 10,000 also is a recent phenomenon. Back in January, we were doing less than 100 a day when the month started, when the year started. So the demonstration is that what was theory is now real, and is real because this is what has happened. We have many applications that have joined to contribute buyers to the network. Many applications have joined to contribute sellers or joined as sellers themselves. And we have many companies providing distribution services. And this is only the start. Now, on the seller side, are aggregators, technology companies, and brands themselves. Unilever is live with UShop. ITC is live with ITCstore.in. P&G is live with PG Shop. And more brands are coming. Boat is live with their D2C operation. So brands are live themselves with their entire full catalog. Stores are live through other parties. Aggregators are live across categories. So we have grocery live, we have food and beverage live, we have apparel live, electronics live, we have agriculture live, we have farmers selling on our network, and we also have the National Seed Corporation of India selling 26 seeds and saplings on the network. So a farmer can now buy seeds on the network, grow something, and sell that out to consumers, all on the same network. It's like the internet of e-commerce, and literally, just think about what the internet has done. And it's also equally hard to explain it, because till internet happened, we can't explain it. Think about going back 30 years in time and explaining to somebody that, okay, one day you can aspire to be a YouTuber as a profession. Okay, what's a YouTuber? Oh, lots of people be watching videos and you can become famous. But how will you watch videos? The data speeds are 720 BPS on a laptop and there's nothing on the phone. It's very hard to explain what will come in the future based on what is there today. You have to exercise your imagination. Late 90s is when the camera first came on a mobile phone. It was a fairly basic camera, 640 by 480 pixel. In fact, it was far, far worse than digital cameras then. But what has happened to that camera? It's gone from a few pixels to megapixels, not only at the back, also in the front. The device has acquired 2G, 3G, 4G, and now we do video conferencing. When the first camera came, nobody thought of video conferencing. So the idea that when you allow things to connect with each other and create solutions is not for the solutions of today. It's not just about migrating something that exists in one form to another form. When I have conversations with organizations, the first natural reaction is, okay, one more channel. So, okay, there was physical commerce, then there was modern trade, then came e-commerce, and this is now just another version of e-commerce. And therefore, it's competition to other e-commerce. Actually, it's not competition to e-commerce. Even existing e-commerce platforms can and should join the network because they also stand to benefit. Where else would you get access to all categories and all products? Right? We all know cases of one e-commerce platform, very strong and a leader in one segment, wanting to another. Now, if you were a taxi hailing application wanting to get into food business, all you have to do is connect with the network. That's a few lines of code, which is a piece of cake for your engineers. And suddenly, all the riders on your network are ordering from restaurants that somebody else has connected at no cost to you. What does that do to your business model? So democratization is allowing complete participation from anyone and everyone, and that's live today. Right? And so who's live? Let's look at the kinds of sellers who are live. By the way, before we go there, so this is just a snapshot of more organizations that are joining. Do you see any big e-commerce names there? And how many names you know them for something else altogether? And just think about the scale. When a player like Airtel, which is in fairly advanced stages of integration, becomes live on the network, you have 450 to 500 million potential shoppers on the network. Which e-commerce platform today can boast of that number? And that's one player. Imagine when the other two players also join, you will have 1 billion shoppers on the network. So this is a network that is collectively bringing everyone together, buyers, shoppers, service providers, and now it does not require anybody to build a complete end-to-end solution. It's like a jigsaw puzzle where you plug in your piece, all the other pieces are provided from the network, and you have your e-commerce solution ready. Last year, as I said, it was theory. Now it is real. And it is real for a lot of people. It is real for Jyoti Silks. Jyoti Silk is a weaver in Kanchipuram. They've been making Kanchipuram silk weaves for years, for decades. But now, thanks to ONDC, they could never think of being on e-commerce for a variety of reasons. Now they are live. And once they went live, SIDBI, which is one of our shareholders and a very close partner in a lot of programs we do, as one of their employee events, did not gift hampers, gave ONDC gift coupons, and more than 2 lakh of Kanjivaram silk got sold. That wasn't the only item. Of course, people bought coconut oil and many other products as well. But somebody sitting in Kanjivaram now has shoppers in other parts of the country where they did not even know that customer. I think we heard in the previous panel opportunities to know your customer. Here, you are acquiring customers from far away. And you're acquiring them efficiently because there is only one entity in between, which is a delivery company. Somebody has agreed to pick up from that location and take it all the way to the destination. We have restaurants live, restaurants who specialize in something very different. One of the best experience at a small scale today that you can have, and I will encourage you to do this, is go to any buying application on ONDC, and you will see a link. Go to ondc.org, there's shop on ONDC as a tab. You will see a link there of all the applications. You can choose anyone. One of the joys that I personally experience of now ordering food is when I open that, I see restaurants in my neighborhood. And I know some of them, and so I can choose to order from there. But I also discover restaurants in my own neighborhood that I did not know. I see menu items that I would have never thought of, and I have the joy of experiencing something new. If I start with the food item, I will go to one of the big food platform applications. I will be pushed what's the latest offer. I will be pushed what is the most popular. If I buy that, I will be pushed what else is most popular with it, and I'm just simply feeding what is already there. There is no opportunity to browse. So now even small restaurants can be discovered by their neighborhood. Not only that, they can migrate existing trusted relationships. So somebody who knows this restaurant in Jammu can now order from there directly. No reputation needed, no faith in the intervening platform needed. I know this restaurant, I can order from them. We have beauty care products, right? So we heard Wow Science earlier, but that's a fairly large brand. There are a lot of individuals who have put their personal knowledge and passion and created little brands of their own. They can never hope to get customers at scale. But now, 100 million shoppers on ONDC network on a variety of applications, if they type the right set of words, will discover Anubhuti. Where would Anubhuti have acquired 100 million shoppers potentially, and at what cost? And we have social sector. Thanks to SIDBI, NABARD, Tata Trust, and many other organizations who have for long supported these organizations, but they've always supported them at the back end. Supported them to set up manufacturers, supported them to be able to package, etc., but not find market. That market has now been made available. So what does it take to help them? Reputation. You can migrate your existing reputation. We're also building a reputation mechanism whereby whoever does good work can directly build that. And this reputation is not confined to a platform. 1 minute, I'll be done in 1 minute. Reputation is not confined to a platform. When the same seller joins today a different platform, they start from zero. But on ONDC, reputation is network-wide. Reconciliation, right? Money does not come in one shot, and money will come over time. So how do you help a small seller keep track of the money they are owed and the money will get? Reconciliation services. Badging. How do you know that that particular seller is good? A lot of organizations are stepping up and saying, we will lend our name. Cottage industry says, we will lend a name to the artisans we buy from. Tata Trust is saying we will lend a name to the organizations we are helping. So suddenly now you will have a badge that will allow you to trust somebody completely unknown. And finally, pre-coded packaging. Right? So think about it like the stickers you get when you do speed post, it's already printed. These small artisans can't buy their own packaging, can't build it, but if they can get pre-coded packaging, they can become part. And these are just some of the facilities, which in turn can become an opportunity for a new startup. So democracy in commerce is here. Thanks to the last 12 months of participation from all participants, it's real, it's no longer theory. And the best part of my job is that growth is not going to be my effort, it'll be your effort. So I look forward to you joining ONDC. Thank you.